Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We just had a half an hour breakout session where the children who are present here today broke out in private breakout groups to discuss among themselves some of the actions that they hope to see us taking action on after the conference. We then had a quick health break, and we're now all coming back to hear from the children what they've discussed within this half an hour. And then right after that, I hope that we will all be able to engage with what they are putting on the table for us in the next session. So with no further ado, I would like to ask our representatives from Lebanon to just tell us a little bit about what you've been discussing and the thoughts that you've had. So if I can ask you just to take the floor and let us hear what you think. Hello? Do you know who will be taking the floor?
It should be Ritam. I'm trying to contact her.
Good. We can move on to the next group in the meantime. If I can ask the group from Nepal to, in the meantime, give us their thoughts.
Shreya, if you could raise your hand.
Mm-hmm. Oh, maybe some are still on their health break.
Rena, maybe we could start with India then.
Okay, India would be perfect. Yeah. Who will be the rapporteur for India?
Hi there. So I'll be sharing the screen, and Niyati and Aman will be presenting their points.
Could you just raise your hand so we can see who's speaking, so that you can get permission to share the screen? Excellent, Niyati. So Monica, if you can, excellent. Well, I don't have to do anything. So over to you.
Yeah, so firstly, the topic which we choose is a lack of education mechanism for mental health. So what needs to be done is firstly promote healthy social and emotional development of all children and youth, because our environment, when we promote the healthy social and emotional development, it would be very great to increase and to solve the problem of mental health. Second one is to recognize when young people are at risk or are experiencing mental health problems, because if we are not able to recognize, how can we solve the problem? That's why firstly we need to recognize, then identify how to intervene early and appropriately when there is a problem. Then we need to identify, and then we need to solve this problem appropriately when we know about the problem, what type of problem is it. Now the second one, who needs to do what, is first mental health awareness in schools. For as we all know that schools are the first where we got information, education, etc. So firstly, where mental health awareness is most important is school. Secondly, educate staff, parents, staffs, and students on symptoms of the health for mental health problem. As we need to educate parents, teachers, or students themselves to understand the symptoms. Are they facing the problem of mental health or not? Because sometimes they are facing, but they are not able to understand that they are facing this problem. That's why we need to educate them. And the third one is appoint counselors at schools. As we know that sometimes children are not able to share their problems, their issues with any other else. So we need to appoint special counselors for it, as they can share their feelings, their points, their problems with those counselors at school. Number fourth is help ensure access to social school-based and mental health supports. As if we know that anyone is suffering from mental health, or as I said that we need to provide awareness in school. So we also need to ensure access to school-based mental health support. Now, when this needs to be done, as we all know that firstly, when this problem is identified, the problem of mental health is identified, then we need to start solving this problem. So counselors should be always available for this, that students can share their problems. And what can children and young people contribute to this action point is, children need to approach the person they think will help them overcome the issues. That children need someone, need to approach someone with whom they can share their feelings, their issues. Therefore, children need to approach someone, any person, any other else, to overcome this issue. The second point is mental health impact on violence against children and teenagers. So, firstly, what needs to do is, children need to taught to express their feelings in appropriate manner. As when they express their feelings in appropriate manner, it will be easier to solve their issue, to understand them, their problems, and then take actions regarding it. The second one, that who needs to do is, there must be urgent investment in strategies to promote good mental health, including prevention of gender-based and other forms of violence. That we need strategies to promote the mental health problems, including the prevention of gender-based and other forms of violence. The second one is, parents and community should encourage the child to share his or her feelings. As we all know that children are a little bit hesitate to share this type of things with their parents. Not in India, but in many countries else. In India, as I am an Indian, I know that we children are really very much hesitate to ask our parents or to tell them to something. For example, if we need to buy something now, we will hesitate first. So that's why parents and community should encourage the children to share his or her feelings. That's why they can take steps regarding it. The third one is, parents should encourage their children to express their problems, such as abuse. That sometimes children is facing from an abuse, either it is mentally or socially, in school or anywhere else. So parents should encourage themselves. Parents should encourage themselves to share their feelings regarding to this type of abuse, so that the parents could solve this issue. Now the third is unhealthy competition in mental health, and I will ask my friend Aman, so he can express this point very well than me. Thank you.
So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aman. I am from India. So, right now, I am going to tell you that the issue that unhealthy competition and mental health nowadays is very popular amongst us. Okay. So, first of all, first point that we are going to see that what needs to be done at what level, like global, regional, or national. Okay. So, first of all, we have to increase the good social connections between children. So, according to me, we have to promote the stage for everyone to boost up their confidence, and the most important factors that gonna be covered up in this, like good social connections between them or with others too, which make them open in front of everyone. Okay, now let's go to the our second point, that is increase public and private sectors to encourage contribute to children's physical and mental health. Actually, according to me, I think so we have to encourage like public sectors first. Okay, because public sectors are under government. Okay, under the organizations, and they are doing their work well. Okay, and that's all of us have to promote the condition of children's, like socially, physically, mentally, because actually it's not only we are talking about unhealthy competition, it's also about the health of children. Okay, it can be distracted from anyway. So now in the third point, we see that focus on skills of every children and develop curriculum accordingly. Okay, so third point is like important thing. So some important steps has to be taken in which they are able to learn the ability to cope up with stress, physical health, and also by increasing physical activities level, they can build up their strength, which help them to fight with mental health condition. So now let's go to what needs to be done by government, NGO, family,
Aman,
community,
Aman,
experts. Yeah.
sorry to interrupt. Can you just speak a little bit slower for the interpreters
Oh,
to keep up with you?
I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry.
Not
So
at all.
first point, awareness about unhealthy competition on social media. So nowadays what we are doing that we are saying in field of social media, we see someone else and get jealous of his or her personality, by his working experience or something any else point. Okay, so here we are saying that social media is the main factor that we should aware about children, that we should done our achievements in a proper way. Okay, now in the second point we see that development of personal attributes, change in the mentality of people. So the main factor that I think so that the mentality of people is very bad, because nowadays we are like see him, see her, he is better than you, why you are not? So we have to tell them that we are not same. His or her career is like okay, he is at the top level, I am not, but I am okay with my own. So we have to change the mentality of people first. And like third point is increase physical activities. As I've already told you that physical activities helps children to boost up their confidence and also their strength. And if their strength like they are mentally healthy. So now let's what needs to be done. Let me tell you something what needs to be done. In this point I have written after in the health break time. Okay, so first of all, unhealthy competition is not only in India, but maybe nowadays everywhere in every home. We are going to see that that small steps have to be taken regarding this. Firstly, government should take a first step, because it is a vast issue and everyone is gonna be aware of that cause of government. Okay, we can't do it from our own, like I want to do something good and everyone see that it's not possible. So if a government take first step, everyone is going to see that what is happen in our country or what is happening in some other countries. Okay, secondly, it is not an immediate action thing. We have to make a base firstly, and it's gonna be done by societies, communities, and by our other organizations. Okay, now what can children and young people contribute to this action point? So what can I do for this issue? First point is like making good relationship status, like I'll do my best with my friend or someone else, like by talking to him in a very good manner, so that he or she can relate that I'm good. Okay, and I am very good with her or like his personal things, like his work experience, like his personality. So his or her strength is gonna to build up. Okay, now second point is appreciate your achievement. As I have already tell you that we are like comparing with someone else. We don't have to compare. Like I right now I am on this stage. This is my achievement. Okay, and and I don't blame someone else that I don't have this thing. Today I am doing this on this stage. This is a achievement for me, and that's I think now in the fourth point, any other areas. So we don't have much things in that, but one thing that who needs to be done in government point, in government section we can see that government should start campaigns to aware people mental health. If government start small campaigns, then it's a very really grateful thing in every country, that people should know what is mental health. Is there any factor that is gonna be hard for children or anyone else? Mental health is not just for children, it's for everyone, from my side of view. Now second point is family should be supported towards mental health issues. Actually we are like that, if I told my parents like I have this problem and this like that, then our family is not gonna be supported. Like keep quiet, don't tell this to anyone. Okay, so this is gonna be hard for me and for everyone. Okay, so family should be supported towards mental health issue, and this is gonna be done by our government, by our organization, and by our uh, NGOs, etc. Thank you, everyone.
Brilliant. Thank you so much to you both, Niyati and Aman. Excellent contributions, and you've raised some very important things that I connects very well with what we were talking about yesterday. From what I hear is that we need to really work in a combined way to address government, school, address issues at the government level, at the school level, and at home in order to promote, recognize, and identify these issues. These are the kind of the key aspects that I took from what you were saying. And also the point about counselors, I think it keeps up and coming up again and again in our discussions, even before the conference when we were doing the consultations. And I remember from the audio contributions that some people sent in from Nepal who aren't able to connect to a forum like this, and their voices aren't heard as often as we would like. They also raise this aspect, like in rural areas, in Nepal, India, and across the world. I mean, we find rural areas in every single country. The lack of counselors is a real issue. So wonderful thoughts there. I would like to go back now to our colleagues in Lebanon to give them the opportunity to also share what they've been discussing in their group. So Kitam and Jaden, please do take the floor.
مرحبا، أنا محمد، زميل من لبنان، وأردت أن أتكلم عن جايدن. جايدن لا يستطيع التكلم بالعربية. لأني لا أستطيع مشاركة الشاشة.
Monica, would you mind just opening that up for them? Excellent, you should be able to do that now. Yeah.
ها نحن ذا. قد كتبنا بعض المواضيع باختصار، وأخذنا بعين الاعتبار ما يوجد في لبنان وما هي المواضيع التي هي موجودة في لبنان. الموضوع الأول وهو عدم وجود آلية تربوية للصحة النفسية. وهنا ننظر كالعائلات لا يمكننا وضع العائلات، فدائما الأطفال أو الشبان يحاولون الذهاب إلى المراكز التربوية الحكومية والغير حكومية، وهذه هي المكان الأنسب، لأن لا يمكن طرح هذه في المجتمع أو ضمن العائلة. وبالنسبة لمن يحتاج أن يفعل ماذا نحتاج أن نفعل، من يحتاج فعل هذا، وهي الحكومات، المنظمات غير الحكومية والمجتمع، ولكن المجتمع صعب أن يتقبل هذا، فكما قلت سابقا إنه يتعاملون معه ليس كشيء طبيعي، بل إنه كشيء صعب التعامل معه وكمرض. وبالنسبة للوقت يجب التعامل معه من الآن وبأسرع وقت. والذي يمكنه فعله الشباب هو المساعدة على تطوير العمل، على تطوير الآليات، أو اختراع آليات جديدة وهي مناسبة لهذه المواضيع. يعني ممكن لا يمكن بعض المواضيع أن يتقبلها الجميع، وممكن بعض المواضيع التي يمكن تطويرها أو اختراع آليات جديدة ممكن أن تكون مناسبة أكثر للصحة النفسية. ممكن من بعض في المراكز التربوية، وهي من عبر الأساتذة أو المرشدين الصحيين موجودين في المراكز التربوية. وهي النقطة الثانية تأثير الصحة النفسية على العنف ضد الأطفال والمراهقين، وهي ننص في الوطن العربي وهي من عبر الأهل، إرشاد الأهل أو عبر المواقع التواصل، لأن أغلب الأطفال والشبان نجدهم على المواقع التواصل، والقليل منهم نجدهم في المراكز التربوية. يمكننا مساعدتهم عبر المراكز التربوية أو المراكز الغير حكومية. وهي من عبر أيضا الأسرة أو الخبراء أو من عبر المجتمع. وهي ضمن فترة متقاطعة، لأن نحتاج إلى فترات طويلة ومتقاطعة. لا يمكننا النص بشكل دائم على هذا الموضوع، لأنه سيؤثر كثيرا على الأطفال وعلى العائلة، ولن يتقبله بعض العائلات أو بعض الأطفال سيعانون منه كثيرا. ويمكننا الاستعانة بالخبراء والمنظمات الغير حكومية، لأنه نجد فيها الحل الأنسب، ويمكن كطفل أو الشاب أن يجد راحته في هذه الأماكن، أو ضمن أو يمكن المنظمات الغير حكومية أن تساعد الأهل عبر إرشادات أو كهذا. والموضوع صحي.
Right, yeah, I think we might have lost connection there. Can you hear us? I think you're back with us now. We can see some movement, so you can just start speaking again, eh?
هل أعيد النقطة الثانية؟
If you can start with unhealthy competition, that's where we lost you, right when you started talking about that.
نعم، هي التوعية وممكن عبر التوعية من بعض المنظمات حقوق الطفل، وهذا ما نجده في الوطن العربي بشكل كثيف، وهي عبر أيضا المنظمات الغير حكومية، وهي أيضا تنص على حقوق الطفل، وهي من عبر كما قلت عبر المنظمات الغير حكومية والمجتمع، فنجد هذا دعما من المجتمع في هذه المواضيع. في الأيام القادمة ممكن، أو على مرور الوقت، لأن لا يمكن من الآن، فيوجد بعض مشاكل الآن عن هذا الموضوع، فنعاني في الوطن العربي بشكل كبير من هذا الموضوع. ويمكن للشبان توعية الأهل، ويمكن أيضا للشبان تقديم جلسات إرشادية. وهذا كل ما لدي.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. Also extremely rich and connects back as well to a lot of the issues that we've been talking about over the last 6 months. One thing that particularly in relation to our conversations with you in Lebanon, and in your summary here, it comes out very strongly, is the need to really work with communities to change mindsets within communities in Lebanon. That's very difficult to do, and that the suggestion that you are presenting to us here is to approach it from also specifically, first of all, working with the parents. So asking governments, NGOs, and experts to help young people reach the parents. And by changing the mindsets of parents, you ipso facto, as an extension, also change the mindset of people within the community. It's like a natural effect if you start working with parents so deliberately. So that's kind of one of the things that I've heard very strongly from what you presented to us today. If I can ask you to stop sharing your screen quickly, and then we can go over to the next group, which I hope that we've connected back with our Nepali colleagues, and so we can ask them to take the floor and let us know what they've been talking about.
Thank you very much. Hello everyone, joining from across the world. I'm representing Nepal. So today I would like to propose my thoughts and ideas as a general representative of a teenager, and also I'll be talking about a general problem faced by teenagers across the world, or mainly in this pandemic, let's say. So among the different causes to trigger mental health, or let's say bad mental health, I think isolation is the one of the main points we shouldn't miss out. So brain generally likes to create.
I'm here. Actually, I'm so sorry for the interruption. Due to internet connection, I was not able to present. So it's me, Shreya Kadaria from Nepal. I'm 16 years old. So for action area, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. Please carry on. We just got a few voices crossed there, so please, Shreya, continue. Yeah.
Okay. So what needs to be done? So it's like first topic is lack of educational mechanism. So for first point, we have that we want mental health topic to be included in our curriculum, so that each and every child gets access to the knowledge what is mental health, and even teachers are also unaware of this topic. So teachers also can know how does a children's psychology work, and who needs to do that? It's Ministry of Education. Until when we want it in the upcoming April, because it is the starting of new education year. So we can start with the new books where we have the topic of mental health there. And what can we children contribute in this topic is like we can approach government to include this mental health in our books from primary level to secondary level, so that each and everyone gets knowledge. And another we have is mental health counselor in each and every schools. And who can do this is government with the collaboration of Ministry of Health and Education. And we want it as soon as possible. And what can we children contribute is that we can form committee, and we can assist that counselor and tell them that what's our problem and what's going inside our group, so they can assist us well. And another point is awareness program through peer educator. So it's same as like we can make groups and aware through street dramas and posters. We can make it an issue and just help resolve it. And I'm skipping to next topic, and that's mental health impact on violence against children. We have lots of rules in our constitution for like against the child labor and all, but we don't have proper implementation and supervision. So for this, we need a chain of people, starting from government to police officers to children themselves, to know about their rights. So first of all, we need to educate the children. So here implementation comes. And all about from teachers to each and everyone, we need implementation from all this level. And we need to just like when we need to start it from now till the point where each and every rules does not get implementation, because especially in our country, implementation has been a huge issue which is not even followed. And another is child-friendly environment. Our nation and our municipality level should be declared as child-friendly society, so that we children feel comfortable to keep our views, because here, like, the environment is like we are not able to present our views openly, we are judged. And because of the feeling of being inferior or judged, we don't express ourselves. So we need an open environment to express ourselves well. And I want to jump to another topic, that is unhealthy competition and mental health. So for this, we have a trend of giving cash prize to students, whoever becomes first in any competition. So we want to remove this stigma, so that children chase for talent and getting prizes instead of cash prize. So this should be implemented from local level in colleges and schools. And we want action-based teaching. We only have that curriculum-based, and we are all judged on basis of our studies. If I'm good at maths and science, I'm regarded as the most brilliant student. But I may be good at other things, like apple can be never compared with orange. So we need platform for oranges also, so they can explore themselves and present themselves. And this can be done by government themselves by implementing the areas, the schools, like we need a play school, football school, or music schools. So we really demand it. And another thing is to children themselves, like they're so much involved to show off about each and everything. So we need to educate them that showing off is it's distracting themselves, and we need to be a bit practical. So this all comes within the awareness and all about this. And I want my another friend to explain more about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Carry on. Yeah.
Okay,
I just
thank you,
wanted to say
Sriya.
thank
Looks like
you,
she was in
Surya.
Sorry, and
I'm done with it. One of my friends is here to explain. I guess he had got a problem.
okay, hello, am I audible?
Indeed, you are. Sorry, it was my fault. I was speaking over you before. Carry on.
Okay. So I would like to continue from where I was. So I think isolation is one of the main points we should not miss out. So brain generally likes to get engaged in activity, mainly activities which are fun. So it may sound like out of the context or work not done by a big organization like UNICEF, Red Cross, or any organization working toward mental health. But I think putting fun learning program would be a great approach to solve corona pandemic and also mental health. For example, premium learning, premium drawing courses. So when it is available for free, I think many would get something to spend their time and eventually can make.
Excuse me, Frazal, are you there?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. I just think that Shreya can't hear you, so you can carry on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think premium running, I'm just giving an example. So premium courses, when it's made available for free, I think many would get something to spend their time, and eventually it can make the pandemic productive also, and also helps to slow down pandemic and better their mental health. And as you know, pandemic is doing great maintaining isolation, so I think it would be great approach. And also I would like to conclude a point which may not seems like important, but I think it has consequences to our mental health. The word pandemic and quarantine should be, I think, different across the globe. As per the context of Nepal, I'm talking sorry. As for the context of Nepal, I am talking, I think due to the lack of health facilities and hospital, the word quarantine may differ in the context of Nepal, where quarantine generally means being in a hospital. So due to lack of hospital in a rural area, quarantine should be better if it is called home quarantine. So providing information to make home quarantine better to the general public would be great approach. So let me make this more clear. Suppose one got the symptom of COVID-19 in a rural area. So what can I do? What can we do? It takes time to send health worker to the rural mountain area, and it's even not safe to send health worker because their health is also a matter of concern. And worse, we don't have a hospital there. So providing information in radio through radio would be a great approach. For example, let's say through radio, we can provide information for better home quarantine. Suppose if one get a symptom of COVID, he or she should be given a separate room for at least 14 days or the quarantine period, or he or she is not allowed to go outside.
Rajwal, unmute yourself, please.
We just lost you there for a second. Okay, I think we can stop it there. I think we got everything covered. Regina, I see your hand is raised. Would you like to add something because you were in that group as well?
Yeah, because I'd like to add some points like that we can't discuss in our breakout room because there were so limited time. That's why. So in our within action plan, I think the awareness program or orientation program about the types of violence, because many children don't know what is violence, and like if they're really facing that also, they are just ignorant about that, like they are if really facing that or not. And we should make people aware about the like helplines, like we have various child helplines and others thing, and who needs to do that is like we children from child clubs and NGOs and government, police, each of us are equally responsible for that, and we can contribute in that way. And another thing is like awareing children about the good and battles that can help us very much to reduce the violence within school or within street or whatever, like in school level, in community level, that might be effective from doing the peer educator through like peers to peers. So that is also another thing that we need to do. And another is like we need to organize so many seminar or webinar or conferences which will mainly highlight the topic about mental health, what's actually mental health, and what happen if like what are the symptoms that shows that we are not fine mentally. Like we can have these conferences on a special occasion like World Mental Health Day, that's happen in October 10, like that. So we can use those days. And for that, every like UNICEF, and UNICEF Save the Children, and every organization who are working for the children, with the children, will contribute and are responsible for that. And another thing is like about the emotional intelligence. Like there is need of emotional literacy, because of this like growing like trendy world, sometimes such children and adults or teenagers are not really feel depressed, like they might be just get influenced by the other emotion, like they might just feel sad or something disappointment, but can give it name as depression or anxiety, which is actually not. So the emotional literacy and intelligence program, orientation programs should be given in our regional or national as well as in global level as well. So we can make it. And another is intergenerational discussion, where we can teach our parents as well as children's like how to understand each other, how to express, and especially the learning and teaching process needs to be changed, like within that intergenerational discussion. For example, like we teach children to greet the elders, yeah, to greet elders by scolding or something like that. But we have to change that trend. Instead of teaching them to greeting elders, we can just do that. Like firstly, if we greet them at first, like to the avocados or to the childrens, then they will know, they will self-learn that, oh, we need to greet them because they are greeting us as well. So this is the things that we need to ensure in learning as well. And that's much. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. I mean, I can see so many common threads emerging already. One thing that I found very interesting from what all three of you have raised in different forms is the curriculum needs to change. The way young people are educated in terms of mental health.
May I add something?
Who's speaking? Sorry,
I didn't get. I didn't
Can
get
you
to
just
raise
raise your hand because I
over
can't
here,
see
so
you speaking? Huh?
I couldn't raise my hand over here. I think that is missing over here. I'm Santira Mandari. I want to add something about that child protection status in Nepal.
Could
and
we
schools, how we
just wait a little bit because we're opening up in a minute to the entire floor. I just want to get all the regions done. We've got one more left, and then I'll open it
Okay,
up.
thank you. I missed some previous sessions due to internet connection. Okay, thank you.
I'll open up for you in a minute. No worries.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so the need that education, the system needs to change. The way that we educate about mental health should change. But one thing that nobody else has raised yet, which I thought was really interesting, is your suggestion that children, there should be mental health representatives at school, child representatives that connect with the counselors and work with the counselors. And that, I think, is a very original idea that I've not heard yet mentioned throughout our time together. So that's very interesting. And I've made a not only a mental note, but also a physical note. So on that note, I want to give it over to our last group in Armenia to give us their thoughts. And after that, I'll open up for everybody here today to have an input. Yeah.
Irina, you already contributed to our discussion. You actually made that point. And I want to give the floor to Nana and listen. Yeah, well, if I can share screen. I think Monica, you need to enable me as a host. Yes, I see it. Great. Just a second. Okay, Nana, you can go further, and I'll share screen while.
Բարևձեզ, նախորդ ներողություն եմ խնդրում կողքի աղմուկի համար, այնպես ասած որ չհասցրեցի ուրիշ ավելի հարմար տեղ նստել։ Լավ, եկեք սկսենք, ուրեմն մեր առաջին թեման կրթական մեխանիզմների բաց մտավոր առողջության հարցում։ Մեր կարծիքով որ պետք է հոգեբանների ներգրավումը դպրոցներում ու իրենց հետևողական աշխատանքները եւ երեխաների եւ ընտանիքների հետ, քանի որ դա կապված է երկու կողմի հետ էլ, դա պետք է լինի պետական մակարդակով, այսինքն պետք է դրանով հիմնականում զբաղվի պետությունը եւ բնականաբար դպրոցը։ Դա ցանկալի է որ լինի հիմա շուտ, այսինքն ինչքան հնարավոր շուտ այդքան լավ, եւ երեխաները կարող են օգտվել դրանով, որպեսզի խոսեն հասակակիցների հետ, որ ավելի շատ դիմեն առանց տարբերությունների, օրինակ հաշմանդամ երեխաներ, այսինքն պետք է երեխաները տարածեն, իրար հետ խոսեն, հանգիստ, այսինքն ոչ թե խնդիրը ավելի պատասխանեն, այլ փորձեն օգնել իրենց հասակակիցներին, նաեւ կրթության Online կրթության ինքնակրթության բովանդակության մեջ ավելացնել մտավոր առողջություն, այսինքն որ ավելանան online դասերը ցանկացած դպրոցերում բոլորի համար, Դրանով պետք է զբաղվի պետությունը, պետք է կազմակերպի, իսկ ծնողները պետք է խթանեն։ Ցանկալի է, որ անմիջապես առաջիկա 1 տարվա ընթացքում դա լինի, եւ երեխաները կարող են օգնել, որպեսզի տարածեն բովանդակությունը, որ դա ավելի շուտ լինի։ Սեռական դասերակցություն եւ ոտնձգություն, իրազեկության դասեր, հասարակագիտություն ունենք կամ կենսաբանություն, բայց չկա կոնկրետ այս ուղղությամբ աշխատանք, այսինքն որ որպես նոր առարկա մտցնեն դասարական կրթությունը, որպես երեխաները իմանան նախ իրենց վարմունի մասին եւ ապահովացնեն ցանկացած խնդրից կամ վտանգից, դրանով պետք է զբաղվի պետությունը, բայց մոտիվացնեն, որ սովորեն ծնողների հետ էլ աշխատանք պետք է արվի, քանի որ հիմա շատ ծնողներ դեռ սովետական մտածելակերպ ունեն եւ հաճախ դեմ են լինում այդպիսի կրթությանը, իսկ երեխաները պետք է ծնողների հետ հանդիպումներ կազմակերպեն, որպեսզի բացատրեն ծնողներին, որ դրա մեջ ոչ մի ամոթ կամ վատ բան չկա։ Անցնենք մտավոր առողջությանը, որպես երեխաների դեռահասների նկատմամբ բռնության նպաստող հանգամանք, պետք է հետաքրքրությունների ճամբարներ լինեն, կտրեն on-line միջավայրից, այսինքն եթե դպրոցները աշխատեն ավելի շատ ճամբարներ կազմակերպեն տարբեր ոլորտներով, արդեն թող թեմաները հենց երեխաները ընտրեն, բայց որպես նրանք կտրվեն սոցցանցերից, քանի որ նեգատիվի, անորոշ մրցակցության եւ այլ շատ վատ թեմաների սկիզբը հենց սոցցանցերից է անցնում։ Պետք է դպրոցները համատեղ ՀԿ-ների հետ միասին, որպեսզի սպոնսորներ լինեն եւ ֆինանսային քանակով երեխաները մեծ գումարներ չծախսեն, քանի որ կան նաեւ շատ կարիքավոր ընտանիքներ եւ երեխաները առաջարկեն ճամբարների թեմաները հենված իրենց հետաքրքրությունների վրա։ Ներկապային այսքանը խոսքս կփոխանցեմ Լուսինեին, որպեսզի նա ավելացնի։
Շնորհակալություն նրան։ Բռնության նպաստող հանգամանքների այդ հարցում եւս կցանկանամ ավելացումներ անել, պետք է ծնողներն ավելի շատ մեխանիզմներ ունենան հենց դպրոցական երեխաների հարցում, որպեսզի հետևեն, թե իրենց համայնքներում երեխաները ինչ են անում այդ սոցցանցերում եւ այլն, իհարկե պետք է պահվի երեխաների այդ անձնական կյանքի անձեռնմխելիությունը, սա պետք է իրականացվի դպրոցների, պետականորեն պիտի այդ ամեն ինչը իրականացվի։ Այս հարցը ավելի շատ պիտի հենց ինչքան հնարավոր է շուտ, այդքան լավ իրականացվի, որովհետև շատ արդիական կամ շատ արծարծվող հարց է, շատ կարևոր։ Նանե, խնդրում եմ շարունակես ինձ։
Իհարկե, հենց հիմա շարունակեմ։ Ոյ, մի րոպե կներեք, հա։ Անդրադառնանք հաջորդը, անհատական էլի մտնում է բռնության եւ մնացած բաների մեջ, որ անհատական պլատֆորմաների ստեղծում, օրինակ դպրոցական Facebook-ներ, ոչ թե ընդհանուր ցանցեր եւ վերահսկի ծնողների եւ ուսուցիչների կողմից, արգելք բառեր, ոչ թե մտեն ընդհանուր Instagram կամ web, այսինքն մենք ուզում ենք ասենք, որ ոչ թե ծնողները կամ ծնորենները մտնեն եւ ստուգեն երեխաների գրվածքները կամ նրանց գաղտնիքները կարդան, այլ ընդհանրապես այդ նոր սոցցանց մեջ ստեղծվի նոր սոցցանց, որը որ կլինի Instagram-ի եւ Facebook-ի նման, որտեղ որ երեխաները կարողանան կիսվեն իրենց կյանքով եւ մնացած հաճելի իրադարձություններով, սակայն կլինեն արգելք բառեր եւ պահվածքներ, այսինքն չի հնարավորություն չունենա իրար վատաբանել, օգտագործել որոշ վատ բառեր եւ առաջացնել տարբերություն երեխաների միջեւ, կկարողանան սոցցանցից օգտվել բացարձակապես բոլոր ուսանողները այդ դպրոցի։ Ցանկալի է, որ դպրոցների նախաձեռնությունը պետք է գա երեխաներից, այսինքն պետք է երեխաները համախմբվեն, դիմեն դպրոցին եւ պետությանը, որպեսզի ամեն դպրոց կարողանա իր սեփական սոցցանց ստեղծել եւ պետությունը պետք է որոշ փոքր դա ֆինանսավորի, քանի որ դա անվճար չի լինի բնականաբար։ պետք է լինի հնարավոր ըստ հնարավորությունից ինչքան պետք է լավ, քանի որ դրա կարիքը հիմա էլ կա եւ եթե սկսել այսօրվանից էլ նախաձեռնել, պետք է որ սեպտեմբերից արդեն որոշ կայքեր սկսեն աշխատել եւ երեխաների այնքանով նրանց օգուտը կլինի, եթե նրանք շարունակեն էլի տարածել եւ սկսեն բոլորը ամեն մեկը իր դպրոցը, եթե ամեն դպրոց առանձին ցանց բացի, ամեն մեկը իր դպրոցի ցանցից օգտվի եւ պահպանի բոլոր կանոնները։ Խոսքը փոխանցեմ Լուսինեին։
Շնորհակալություն։ Այժմ կխոսենք անառողջ մրցակցության եւ մտավոր առողջության մասին։ Առաջին հերթին դպրոցական թիրախները սահմանելիս անհրաժեշտ է երեխաների հետ քննարկումներ ծավալել, որ իրենք օգնեն սահմանել այդ թիրախները, այսինքն առանց երեխաների իմացության ոչ մի բան չպիտի արվի իրենց մասին այդ հարցերում հատկապես այս հարցին պիտի անդրադառնան, պիտի ուզում տան դպրոցները պետության հրամանով տարեսկզբին միջև ուսումնական ծրագրերը հաստատելը պիտի արվի եւ երեխաները պետք է պրոակտիվ լինեն իրենց կրտսեր ընկերներին օգնելու համար։ Հաջորդ կետը դա անհատական ուսուցման պլաններ ունենալն է, յուրաքանչյուր երեխայի համար հենված իրենց հնարավորությունների զարգացվածության մտավոր ունակություններից ելնելով, եթե անկեղծ Հայաստանում սա կա, սակայն այդքան ճիշտ չի օգտագործվում, մեծ ուշադրություն չի դրվում դրան։ Այս հարցին պետք է անդրադառնան ուսուցիչը, հիմնականում հոգեբանը, սոցիալական աշխատողը, այս հարցը պետք է լուծվի տարեսկզբին միջև ուսումնական ծրագրերը հաստատելը եւ երեխաները պետք է անկեղծ լինեն իրենց հետ աշխատող մասնագետների հետ, որպեսզի ամեն ինչ ավելի ճիշտ իրականացվի։ Կարծում եմ այսքանը, խոսքս երևի փոխանցեմ Ռեյնային։
Thank you so much for that. That was fascinating. And one thing that you also mentioned here that wasn't mentioned yet so deliberately today is the need to really think about the online environment in a more pronounced way, to create an environment that is safe for children. I mean, the Global Campus has already been doing work on that, really thinking how technology is impacting the lives of children with the work that our online e-learning department is doing. But what you say here, that perhaps a way forward is also to connect, ask schools to create social media platforms within the school that can be created in a way to ensure that it is a safe and healthy environment for young people to engage with. And what I also find interesting that very much also connects with what our first group in India was saying, this interaction and the Arabic world as well in Lebanon, this interconnection between state and parents, that there needs to happen something very deliberately in order to help change things. So thank you so much to all of you. I mean,
Rina, if I get contribute, because I raised my hand on that.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see. I was in my own world.
It's okay. There were two highlights that I wanted to have after the discussion with Lucina and Nane. The first highlight, which is a general one, is that very often I felt like the students really need the rapprochement between the reconciliation between the parents group and the children in terms of the violence in terms of especially sexual education based on the cultural differences. What they really see is that schools need to create possibilities to face these two groups and to show that children really need something which they think they don't need. And the second highlight, which I also noticed, is about peer-to-peer support, especially with the individual plans or the targets of education. Lucina mentioned that, for example, those who already graduate of one grade can support the ones who are going to pass through it. Basically, those who don't know what's the targets of this course is going to be, they're gonna support each other. So these two highlights are the things that I noticed while our heated discussion. Yeah, sorry for interrupting, and I'm
not at all. You
No.
actually provided the perfect walk over into the next discussion for about 10 minutes. I just want to open the floor to everybody who connected with us today to react to what the children just presented. Give your own thoughts. If you think there's something particularly interesting, please do raise your hand. The floor is open to everyone, and but I do ask raise your hand so that I can call on you. So please feel free, adults and children alike. Hazem, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. I would like to thank everyone who presented and really express my admiration and excitement for all these ideas, because I feel like we have something to put forward. And one of the main things that I found and that I'm thankful for, that we can have as a recommendation for all the governments, is to really have this social and emotional education as part of the curriculum. I think as when it comes to all that can come out, this is something that can really change it for everyone, for the new generation. This is a total huge change. And I'd like to express my gratitude for all the children who participated, because it is obvious how much leadership we have and how much they helped bridge the gap between the older generation and the newer generation. And especially with the recommendations when it comes to unhealthy competition, like this is, as we said, a new idea, and to have more flexibility at schools. Like, I mean, I really hope that we can take all the recommendations forward and to really work on them, because I think that they are worth it. This is the main outcome for me, just admiration.
Wonderful ending words there, Azim, which I completely share. Tobekile, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Reina. Thank you to everybody. I've been listening in. I'm tuning in from Zimbabwe. I hope I'm clear.
Crystal clear.
Okay, cool. So firstly, thank you to all the child representatives who were presenting very informative and well thought out presentations. And of interest to me was the issue of awareness raising. I think it's very important. We need to raise awareness on the issues of mental health, not only in the context I'm in, which is in Africa, but I think worldwide, because mental health is more of like a new phenomenon. And so many people don't really understand that when we're talking about mental health issues, we're not just talking about depression or clinical diagnosis of mental health. So I think it's important, as one of the presenters did say, to have webinars, to have, commemoration days where we commemorate mental health, and just to raise awareness on the issues of mental health, so that everybody knows that these are the issues that are actually present. And then also I was quite impressed with the intergenerational discussions that need to be done between parents and children. Again, in the African context, mental health has always been a cultural thing where, it must be some witchcraft happening or something. So children's lives begin in the home, most of them. So if the parents are aware of these issues, then they're able to tackle the issues before the children actually enter the school system.
Yeah.
So it's definitely an issue that has to be tackled in all areas, from the home, from the school, and at all levels. But I think it's important that the parents themselves or guardians do understand what we mean by mental health and how it affects children, and how we can create a conducive environment for children to develop their emotional intelligence. So and also you did mention, Reina, the issue of creating a safe space online. I think we've taken it for granted that everybody knows how to operate online, but we're actually exposing the children to more dangers, and also their mental health is highly affected by what happens online. So again, the last presenter did talk about individual platforms where children, it's a safe space for children to express themselves, and it's moderated by teachers and, and adults. So I think if we also promote a safer online environment, it would also help with the mental health issues of children. But yeah, I think that was all I had to say in summary from the presentations that we've just heard. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, Tobakila. And yes, I completely share this importance of this. What you also pointed out, the intergenerational aspect of what we need to do more of in the future. I just want to call on Shantiram, who wanted to speak before, and I so rudely said you should wait a little bit. If you can just, I see you've just raised your hand, so please, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Ren. I'm from Nepal, and I work in the field of children's right and child protection. Some of the issues I want to raise here are the practices, what we're doing in Nepal to protect children and then protect from violence. Many programs are designed in private sector as well as government has also focused. What I see is in Nepal, the government has provisioned child clubs establishment in government schools. It is mandatory for all the government schools. And then I think that the children's participation to end such kind of violence in the schools, particularly physical punishment like emotional type of violence, for example, harassment, such kind of things are dealt with children's participation, like where the child clubs are active. They are actively participating, and then they are working together with teachers. Actually, there will be the focal teacher also in the child club. I think that establishment and well functionalization of child clubs in schools can minimize the child violence in the schools, all the related problems like mental health problems as well. That another thing is that in Nepal, the government has provisioned school health nurse. But the problem is that the school health nurse is basically responding to initial problems like first aid support only. I think what the government should do is that they should be prepared to deal with the mental health problems in schools properly, along with that initial support that should be dealing with the mental health issues of the children as well. Similarly, local government should invest more to mental health issues, especially in Nepal, that the local government now have authority to plan their own budget, and then while planning, they need to focus on children's health issues, including mental health, so that the issues related to children can be highlighted and they can be solved properly. Another thing is that in the discussion, it was raised that the parents themselves should be aware about the mental health issues of the children. In that direction, the parents should be oriented. They should be trained how to address mental health problems in their children, so that at first the family recognize what kind of problems, mental health problems that children are facing. That would be great support for the children. Similarly, I also want to focus that peer help is very important. Actually, the children share their problems to peers at first. So forming the peer groups in schools or in the communities, and then if we can if we can ensure that the children can talk to their peers at first, some of the problems can be solved within them, and then they can a kind of sharing habit, or the sharing habit can be formed like that. So these things can actually change the status of mental health problems and the violence against children in Nepal. Some of my colleagues previously said that there are so many other children's participants also said that we have lots of provisions in Nepal about child rights, child protection, even mental health support, but they are not properly implemented at place. So there should be loving or the advocacy to implement such provisions properly at all levels is also important. If we do them, I hope we can just support children's issues, especially in mental health. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for that. It's and what you said here at the end really stuck a core with me. This the idea of peer-to-peer support that Mariam also pointed out, I think, and it makes me think of what happened in the second session yesterday as well. One of the young people saying is, I need to support a friend who is in a very difficult position, but I don't have the support in order to do that as well. I need there needs to be mechanism to enable peer-to-peer support as well, which I think is a crucial aspect, because I think that's the first place where people start to notice, is friends start to notice what is happening to their friends around them. So I think it's a crucial point that you raise here, this peer-to-peer support mechanisms that need to be developed in a more concrete way. I saw, Victor, that you had your hand up. If you don't want to say anything anymore, then I think I'll close the session here, because we're running a little bit over time. Not as extreme as yesterday, but nevertheless. Do you still want to say something? Yeah.
Just two very quick points. The first is that as we're hearing from the children, I'm thinking that while children are so enthusiastic to contribute to actions and to do something, that we as adults need to reciprocate. Yeah. We should be careful, because we have failed as adults, we put the burden on the children. We should avoid that. Yeah. It's an equal partnership. Children will contribute, but let's be careful that we have responsibility to support them, but it has to be an equal partnership. That's number one. Number two, what I'm hearing from the children is all the concerns, to a large extent, are within the immediate environment of the children. Family, school, peer group, social media. That's where we need to start. And I was just asking myself, which government agency is responsible for family? Now, I don't know about your countries. In my country, we have a ministry called Ministry for Women, Family and Community Development. It has 15 portfolios with only one small department for family. Number two, government will not intervene in the family. Right? So all the action points from the children, we can give to Ministry of Education when it's education, help, but for family, what we need to think about is how can we strengthen communities and families with children and parents and peers. And that is a space that only civil society has, not government. I don't trust government when it comes to family. Let me be very clear.
Interesting.
Yeah? They will not intervene because it's a personal matter. Yeah. Government has no jurisdiction when it comes to family direct intervention. So where do we build the support mechanisms needed for children, which they're asking for, to work with parents, peers, and with their community? So that's my challenge. Thank you.
as you were speaking, loads of hearts popped up there about the community, and so thank you for that. I want to, unfortunately, close this session because I think we can still keep on talking about it for ages. I think we have to start bringing the session to a conclusion. And with that in mind, I would like to hand over to my colleague, John Paul and Regina, again, just to give a few impressions before they hand back to me to say a few final words. Thank you so much.
Yes, Regina, are you there?
Oh, you're on mute, Regina.
Yes, I'm here. Sorry.
Okay. Any thoughts that you have on kind of what you've heard now in the last half an hour or so? You and John Paul, would be fascinating to hear.
Yeah, like most of the action plans were quite similar that we really felt like, and now the thing is like we children to put our action plans, yeah, and like there we mentioned that what we expect from NGOs, government, and what we expect from government, and what are our roles as well. So here I like to say last but not least, like we really want the commitment from each of us, especially from adults that we have here as experts or representing any organization who works in this field. Like we need to really collaborate with each other, then only we can just succeed or do. This is only an action plan that we make with a approximately like time limit that we really want, but that's not sure that we are. The only thing that we can do is just make efforts and just attempt to do, but it's not sure that it will happen immediately. Slowly but surely it gonna happen, but through our common efforts. So let's keep up our efforts up, and then let's have the same energy that we had initially in this session till the end and make this happen. And yes, that I like the really good point of that Victor says that we shouldn't depend only in the government, because being as an individual, being in our community level, first handling our family and society first, it comes upon us, because not the government will come in each of us home to ensure that their how's the relation and how's the environment like. So I think each of us should be responsible. That I'm saying it from the very beginning, that each of us needs to be responsible. So keep it that in your mind, and we should initiate from ourselves first. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, and also what was very salient was the answer, the single answer that almost all of them had on the actions. When should we start acting? And almost all of the answers were now. And then wonderfully, the children too understand that the right to mental health has a progressive realization. And we're very clear with their vision on some of them saying we should start some of these activities at the beginning of an academic year and progressively realize it. I think that the children themselves are really aware, our participants are really aware of what the stakes are, and that we could really together support them at enhancing a concrete plan for them to be able to realize the right to mental health for children. And I think that with the wonderful set of children that we have, they can really be propellers of change through innovative volunteerism. So thank you all, our child participants, for really being a light to us all, making us see things, new concepts which otherwise we would take for granted, such as the unhealthy competition. And I just think that that will further build on your ideas to create impact through action. Back to you, Reina.
Do you want to still say something, Regina, or is it back to me? Excellent. Well, I mean, with such a summary, I do not have to summarize anything. What I would like to do is just take a few moments just to thank some of the behind the scenes people before we close the session, because they've been working like busy bees behind the scenes, and they don't actually get all that much recognition. And I want to say a few names. And first of all, the team in Kathmandu, Ravi, Pranjali, and Anusha. I would like you to please raise your hands so that everybody know who you are, because you're hidden away. So please raise your hand. Pranjali, put up that hand. Anusha, where are you? Put up your hand. Excellent. These three people have gone above and beyond to make this happen, and never put themselves in the foreground in that process. So if everybody can give their love to these three individuals that has sent me messages in the middle of their night in order to make this happen. So thank you so much to you three. Yeah. There's my love as well. And then I also want to say a special thank you to Manu Krishan and John Paul, who's also been extremely busy behind the scenes. John Paul has always been so quick in summarizing everything that we've discussed. And Manu's always been there to help with the administration, with budgeting, with conceptualizing. So thank you to you both as well. You have to raise your hands as well. so otherwise, with all these people here, nobody can actually see who you are. So there you go, Chomb. So thank you for that. And then last but not least, I want to thank all of our regional officers who are in this context is known as our regional facilitators. You have to raise your hands as well, please, please. And also our e-learning department has done a lot to support us throughout this process as well. Angela and Manuela and Veronica has always had an open ear to give us advice and help us bring this thing like the way it is today. Yeah, so whoop whoop. I'm going to give a love there, and then also to Victor Karunan, who's been very supportive. He's and helped design all of this, and he's also always been quite quietly in the background, absorbing and listening, and I think he needs some special love as well. So thank you, Victor, for everything you've done. So, and finally, to all of the children today, and yesterday, that you've I have no words. I mean, I don't know what to say to express my thanks for your time dedicated to us, and with the enthusiasm that is infectious. And I really hope and that we will be able to see you all in person very soon, if not at our headquarters in Venice, somewhere else, because we need to build on what we've done today in constructive ways. Brilliant. So on that, I want to thank you all, and we'll be in touch with the outcomes. We'll be still working with all of you, and the participants of today will learn what we further develop. And please do still add your thoughts on the Padlet. Thank you, everyone.